Hello, everyone, and I am so happy to be here and to talk to you about this burning topic that for me is just driving me a little bit crazy, and I'm getting a little bit frustrated about the narrative that I'm consistently and keep hearing around the menopause topic, obviously. So I really just wanted to come today and just sort of have a little rant and share a little bit about what I'm seeing and to switch the script a little bit on the whole menopause conversation that is going on at the moment, that has been going on for a while, but I've been hearing and seeing this much more recently. So this is what you have probably heard and what you are probably hearing and seeing. And that is the way that menopause is being represented for midlife women. We're hearing it on the TV shows, we're hearing it on the podcast, we're hearing it by the so-called menopause experts. I've definitely heard it recently in conferences where doctors are standing up and talking about menopause. So what is this narrative? And let me just say hello. In case you don't know who I am Jacqueline Rhodes, integrative menopause educator and coach. So what is the thing that really that is being propagated? What is that narrative, the words, the paradigm that is being promoted in this menopause space? And that is menopause is a hormonal deficiency. It is accompanied by a long list of symptoms. Pick your list, 35, 50, 75 list of symptoms. And the only way to cure these symptoms and the only way to navigate this menopausal related hormonal deficiency is with HRT. And the minute you get put on HRT, you feel better. Everything is better. The world is bright and rosy and everything is grand. In addition, menopause and this hormonal deficiency is potentially going to trigger lots of other things in addition to the symptoms, such as impacts on your bones, brain, and heart health. And therefore, the only way to support those three critical areas and support long term health in those areas is through HRT, which is basically, or what we're calling now MHT, menopause hormonal therapy, or some type of hormonal replacement that is going to replace these deficient hormones that you now have in your body because of menopause. Now, I just want to scream at this narrative because so many women are buying into it. So many women are expecting the symptoms as a result of their hormonal deficiency and hormonal decline. And oops, I just had a technical malfunction. So just hold on 1 second with my camera. Okay, we are back. So many women are expecting to experience hormonal decline, are expecting to experience hormonal deficiency, and are expecting the symptoms. I can't tell you, let me just make sure you can all see me okay. 1 second. Okay. And I can't tell you how many women I speak to and how many comments I see on these menopause groups about, I'm so scared, I'm 45 and I'm so scared about what menopause is going to bring me. I'm so worried because I've seen a long list of symptoms and how am I going to function? Or I'm feeling totally stressed out because I know that I'm going to have hot flushes, and I know I'm going to have brain fog, and I work in an office. So the expectations of this awful time for a woman in perimenopause, menopause, triggers and exacerbates anything she may be going through because she is waiting and expecting to experience all these awful things because she has hormonal deficiency, because she's now in menopause, because everyone's going to have symptoms, and you already have to, already go to your doctor, make sure you've got a doctor that's going to give you HRT, MHT, and everything will be fine. Okay. I'm going to calm down a second. I'm not going to scream and yell at you through the screen, but I really want to reframe this paradigm because it's not serving anyone, especially women. So the first thing is, let's sort of unpack this theory, this narrative that is being really shared on all the platforms, in all the medium, to all the women. And let me then suggest an alternative way to view this experience. The first thing is that menopause is a hormonal deficient state. I totally and absolutely disagree with that statement. Menopause, all the doctors will say menopause is a normal, natural, biological phase, and then will say, tack on, but it is a hormone, and it is a hormonal deficiency state. No. Yes, it is a normal, natural, biological state, and it is part of a woman's hormonal life cycle. Women have clear, distinct hormonal stages: puberty, reproductive years, perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause. These are terms that represent a biological hormonal state in a woman. These hormonal states have predictability and expectations. Um, in perimenopause, it is unpredictable, but we know that. That is what is expected, these unpredictable hormones. In menopause and postmenopause, we know that our hormone levels are going to be different. FSH is going to be high, estrogen, testosterone, progesterone is going to be low. It's not a deficiency. We know and expect and can predict this hormonal state. The challenge or the problem that arises with some women is the exacerbation or the extreme imbalance in your hormones. The fact that for some women, the hormonal fluctuations or the levels of their hormones are out of balance. But women who are experiencing things like PCOS, endometriosis, infertility, severe PMS, their hormones are already out of balance. They already have some type of hormonal imbalance. They are not hormonally deficient women who are experiencing those types of hormonally related conditions. We don't say a woman with PCOS is hormonally deficient in estrogen, but why are we then saying that a menopausal woman is hormonally deficient? There is hormonal decline. There is hormonal fluctuation. There may be hormonal imbalance. But using that word deficiency already sends us on to, great, so we need to replace those deficient hormones. HRT is your answer. Now, big flashing disclaimer here. I am not anti HRT. If HRT is what you need to help support where you are, that is fine. But HRT shouldn't be a linear medical line of menopause symptoms, medical or pharmaceutical treatment, HRT, MHT. The other thing that I'm beginning to hear, and this is something that is coming up recently, is there is no such thing as postmenopause. It's all menopause. Women are suffering and struggling and have symptoms, and it's all menopause. This concept of postmenopause is sort of irrelevant. Again, I really, really challenge that narrative and that approach, because postmenopause is a biological stage of a woman's life. By keeping the woman in menopause and by consistently using that term in this medicalized framework, it means that a woman is kept assuming she is going to have symptoms, and she is going to therefore need a pharmaceutical medical treatment to these consistent symptoms, which is a condition of menopause. If you say a woman is in postmenopause, it allows us to slightly reframe what is the biological situation, what are the physical, emotional, cognitive characteristics of a postmenopausal woman. And that may be very different to a perimenopausal or a menopausal woman. It's not that we're saying postmenopause and everything is fine. It's saying she looks different. The woman, again, physical, emotional, cognitive, spiritual expression is different in postmenopause. So I think we have to really be sensitive and nuanced about the language that we're using. The other thing that is really frustrating me is the concept that symptoms have to occur and HRT is the only way to cure the symptoms and is the only treatment. Now, if we understand menopause in this framework of it is a hormonally deficient state, in this very linear, very medical approach of disease, menopause is the condition. There are symptoms, choose your list: brain fog, achy joints, exhaustion, hot flashes, low libido, weight gain, thinning hair, dry skin, cognitive impairment, short-term memory loss, mood swings, anxiety, depression. They may, and they are for some women, real experiences that a woman experiences at this stage of life due to her hormonal fluctuations. I'm not saying that symptoms don't exist. I'm saying the assumption that symptoms have to happen. The assumption for a woman who is entering menopause, the doom, the gloom, the exacerbation of her health risks, the potential and serious risks to bone, brain, and heart, the expectations that this is going to happen to you already makes this experience a negative health experience. It already reframes and puts the woman in the mindset that this is all a terrible thing. And the only way to help myself is to have the HRT, which is going to restore my hormones. I don't believe that is the case. We know there is 20% of women who don't have any symptoms whatsoever, and they're not an anomaly. That's 20% of female population have no symptoms at all. That means symptoms is not a prerequisite. It is not a fundamental truth of menopause. In that 80%, 20% have extreme symptoms. So let's acknowledge them. Let's find ways to support them. Let's find ways to treat them. But there is a bunch of women who have mild to moderate symptoms, symptoms that can easily be treated with a more integrative approach, looking at lifestyle, looking at the real health risks too, or the real risks to long-term health and wellness. We know that bone health, brain health, and heart health is definitely impacted by fluctuating hormones, specifically estrogen. But there are other risk factors also that we seem to be ignoring. Risk factors such as smoking, alcohol, obesity, insulin resistance, inflammation, stress. We know that these are objective risk factors to health and longevity in males and females. We know that that these are going to contribute to the way that you feel every day, regardless of whether you are taking HRT or not. And we know that there is so much that you can do in terms of supporting your nutrition, eating more fats and proteins, supporting brain function just in that way. We know that there are ways that we can move our body. The fact that we are sitting in front of a computer for hours on end cannot be ignored as a risk factor. We know that a sedentary lifestyle is a significant risk factor. And even if you go to the gym for an hour a day, even if you are walking half an hour every day, even if you are running 10 kilometers every day, and then you sit in front of your computer for 9 hours, that is a health risk. So I want us to really put everything in perspective. Again, I am not saying HRT is not relevant. I am not saying that hormonal decline is happening. I am not saying that hormonal fluctuations are going to trigger things happening in our body. That is biology. The biology of it is 100% true. Hormonal fluctuation, fluctuations in estrogen, reduced testosterone, that can have profound impacts on our body, on how we feel, on our cortisol levels, on our insulin levels, on our thyroid function. That is biology and that is real. And I want to acknowledge that is absolutely true. But HRT or MHT is not a magic pill solution if there are other things going on in your body. It is not a magic pill solution if you are not looking at other health factors that you are experiencing. It is not a magic solution if you are in a stressful job, have a stressful lifestyle, your cortisol is either super high or has tanked, and then you just add in the hormone replacement. It's not going to be a magic solution if you're not looking at what else is going on in your body. And as I said, these are clear, critical biological stages with biological hormonal features and things that are happening in our body. My challenge and my question is, how do we support women at all stages of our life cycle? How do we support women, especially in perimenopause and menopause and in postmenopause? Because um, things are happening and changing in our bodies, and we want to support our bodies as much as possible. How are we looking at our overall health and well-being as we age? And that looking at lifestyle factors. As I've said, the 5 areas that I am most interested in, the 5 areas that I think are critical to women's healthy aging, is the impacts of stress and looking at what stress is doing to our body, nutrition, gut health, supplement support, sleep. If you're not sleeping, you are not going to have a good, strong, healthy body. Movement and the way that movement changes as we age, and self-care and connection to boost those really good, feel good brain hormones. And we want to be looking at all of those areas, and inflammation and what is going on with inflammation, what is happening with other key organs in our body, what is happening with our liver, what is happening with our adrenal glands. You may be hormonally out of balance purely because your liver is not detoxifying and removing the hormones properly, because you have poor liver function, because your liver has had to deal with removing so many toxins, or if you have consumed large amounts of alcohol in your early years, your liver is now not able to perform its function. If you're eating high sugar diet or eating high processed food diet, your liver is going to not be able to have the resources to then detox and process your hormones properly. It may not be a hormonal problem, it may be a liver problem. You don't know this until we start exploring what is going on in our body. Thyroid also is the same story. What is happening with our thyroid? Is our thyroid under extra stress because of other things going on, because of inflammation and gut health? So the situation is much more complicated, much more nuanced than just menopause is a hormonal deficiency and the hormones symptoms will be cured. Okay, I'm going to get off my soapbox now. I think I've made myself pretty clear at the moment as to why I am so infuriated around this narrative that is being propagated by doctors, by menopause specialists, by women themselves that are just entering into this fear place, which that itself is going to add more stress and exacerbate potentially your symptoms. So I hope I've been able to help you reframe this narrative. Pop the comments in down below. Let me know what you think, whether you agree, disagree, whether I've said things that have rattled your ruffled your feathers and you think I'm incorrect in some of my perspective, or if you love what I'm saying and you agree with me, then put the comments below. I can't wait to hear. And this is an ongoing conversation. This is not a conversation that is ending. This is an ongoing conversation. And if you want to know more, just reach out to me.